of what we're trying to accomplish.
Workshopping a story or a chapter.
Right, right.
We have a certain time we want to get home by.
You don't want to be out all night.
Oh, no.
I think we've been doing it long enough that it kind of follows a
Sure.
nice pattern.
Do you workshop one piece per meeting, or do you try to do several different short stories or novel selections, or does that change from meeting to meeting?
We do, like Trina said, we do about 40 pages, and it does change. We usually have 2 people who we critique, and if one person can't get something in time, somebody else will usually cover for them. Now, you might give 10 or 20 pages of a story, you might give 2 stories, but we total about 40 pages.
I guess I should have started with the most fundamental question of all when we began. So let me hear your insights on why do you write? Why do you write? What is it that compels you to write?
I think I've just always written, and you have to play to your strengths. I mean, I don't think I ever thought I was going to be the world's greatest mathematician. You have something inside that you want to get out. And as Lynn was saying, we all, on some level, do nonfiction as well as fiction. And we just have stories that we're all trying to tell, and so I guess that's my answer.
How about you, Lynn? Why do you write?
The idea of having stories to tell is probably a pretty common theme for me, for a lot of writers. It's just a matter of you have something inside of you, and I like to see, can I get it outside of me so that you can see what I'm seeing? That's kind of a, can I make you feel what I'm feeling about this character and see what I'm seeing in my mind? It's my art form. I like.
Sure.
Not math, but I can't paint or draw or do a lot of other art, but this is my art form to tell you what I'm thinking inside.
It's a way of relating. We have a mind that has these subconscious images, and we put pieces together, and then I guess there's a support system involved in a writing group or if other people are reading it, where they can say, hey, I know what you're feeling here, or I know what that's like, or maybe I don't know what that's like, So it's kind of a support system, it sounds like. Well, how about you? Why do you write, Trina?
Well, I've always had a very active imagination, and I have to tell the stories that are in my head. And I was a middle school teacher for 15 years, so I think the reason I like writing young adult material is I can picture myself as that child, and the stories just come out.
So you know that audience pretty well then.
Right.
Now, do you guys write mostly literary type fiction, or is there a genre fiction, or is it mostly literary style fiction?
I would not call myself literary.
No way.
No, but I will say that we've had people who have sent us short clips or told us a little bit about their writing in order to become a new member, and we do edit out certain types of genre. We don't accept children's authors. There's no commentary there. It's just we're trying to keep it to a certain type of writing so that we all can relate on that front. And we've also edited out like screenwriters, playwrights,
Horror,
poets, horror.
romance.
So we're just trying to keep it so that we don't have such a mixture that we can't.
Sure. Well, you have
relate.
similar tastes and values, and that's the kind of thing that you can comment on and that you know. I know if I had a screenwriting group, I might have trouble saying, well, this is formatted the right way or not, because I just don't know the form very well.
Right.
So that might be part of it. So tell us a little bit about some of the young adult fiction that you write.
Well, right now I'm finishing my first novel. It's about a young wizard who has traveled back to the past, 1775 Boston. So it's a historical fantasy. And it's just been very fun to write because I've had to immerse myself in colonial America. And of course, what do I do for a living? I write science questions. So I knew really nothing about history and had to do a lot of research before I started writing. And I think that's one thing that people don't realize when they first set out with writing is the amount of research that's involved in writing fiction.
Now, all of you the same way? Do you do a lot of research before beginning fiction writing, or do you write more organically, Lynn?
I write more organically. I don't have to cover a certain. In
Not
Trina's
that one
novel,
way is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own process.
Yeah, she's covering a certain historical time period, and she needs to be accurate. I'm not with what I'm doing. I will do a lot of research in my own writing, my nonfiction writing, but the fiction writing, I'm just having fun.
How about you, Anne? What's your process?
I would have to agree a little bit more with Lynn in that it kind of comes out first, but in my novel, as I got into it, I realized that there was going to be a crime, and I needed to find out more about, you know, how would the FBI be involved in that,
Sure.
well, all that sort of thing. So I've kind of gotten into the research in the middle of all of it. So.
Now, Trina, with the research that you do, how do you do your research? Is it mostly online? Do you go to a library? Are you reading books on that time period?
All of the above. For me, I like the internet, so I've done a lot there, but you also do need to get books. Like I ordered Esther Forbes' biography of Paul Revere because he's one of my main characters. And I've read everything I could find, young adult books, Johnny Tremaine, April Morning, you know, just kind of immerse myself in the time period. And it was just a lot of fun.
Very cool. I think one of the things that the audience that's watching is interested in is the process to writing. I get a lot of questions about, you know, how to put together a book from people watching us on the How to Publish a Book site, as well as we're beginning to get some feedback from folks who are watching us here at RTN as well in Wake County. So when you actually sit down to write, what is your daily process? Do you work for like an hour? Do you write several days consecutively, or is it kind of whenever you can find the time to do it? Let's start with Anne.
Well, that's a good question. I'm a stay-at-home mom and also do freelance writing, and so my goal was to try to get an hour done every day. It doesn't always work out like that, and that's evident when we get to writing group and it's my turn to submit. Sometimes I go, oh my gosh, in the whole last month and a half I haven't written any fiction. And I think that's the great thing about a writing group. It holds you accountable.
Very much.
And you realize how much time has elapsed, your life has gone by, you know, and you need to get back to what you're trying to work on. But yeah, the goal is to try to set up some kind of discipline to get yourself going. And
now, how much of your book do you have done?
I'd say probably between a half and 3/4, but it's pretty rough.
What's the goal, or what do you need to do to complete it? Where are you at in terms of saying, okay,
get my butt in the chair. I mean, really, that's all. I mean, you hear people say that all the time. But
how long has it taken you to write the first half of the book?
Really, if I actually did it like I should, it would have only taken 6 months. But it'll be 2 years in March, and I'll probably still only be about 3/4 of the way through it. So.
Now, how about you, Lynn? What is your process for? Tell us a little bit about the project that you're working on right now.
The project I'm working on, I'm in my own personal life. I have a family member with Alzheimer's, so I'm writing a book where this family member has Alzheimer's, and the family is trying to deal with a lot of issues right now. And there are a lot of mysteries going on because people are keeping a lot of secrets from each other. I actually wrote it, got maybe a fair way into it a couple of years ago, and then decided to scrap the whole project and try it again from a different point of view, which worked a lot better. So I'm back to about the first 5 or 6 chapters of it, but I have an idea of where I'm going with it. And I just write, I think about the next section of the book, and then I'll finally get it together in my mind. I'll sit down and I'll write till my mind goes blank, and then I get up and think about the next section. And because I work, I don't get to do it very often.
Now, you said you switched to a different point of view. Was it another character's point of view, or did you move to the first-person point of view?
Yes, that's exactly what I did. I moved to the first-person point of view instead of a narrator giving